Welcome, Bobcats, to another edition of From the Field to the Fans. I'm your host and sports editor here at the University Star, Odus Evbagharu, and today I have Cameron Cutshaw with me and Kirk Jones. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Excited about this last home game for football, looking to pack the stadium for a potential bowl game.
Yeah, I'm interested to talk about this upcoming weekend. We got volleyball going into the Sun Belt Conference. We got last home game in football. It's going to be an interesting weekend for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Football is going to be something that we're going to hit on a little bit later on in the show, but we're going to talk about volleyball. Sun Belt Conference Tournament has arrived. It is upon us. It starts on Thursday. It's going to be interesting to see how the women come out and they respond. They're going to be the number 3 seed in the tournament, so that should be fun. Basketball, women's basketball, they'll play Hampton on Saturday. They're going to be at home as well. It's going to see how they're going to respond back from losing back-to-back games against Texas and TCU. Men's basketball losing Wednesday night to SMU 70-49, starting the season 0-4. That's got to be brutal for Coach Casper and the men. And then we talk about football. Last home game, senior night. The city has declared Saturday as packed Bobcat Stadium Day. So that should be something interesting to talk about. Before we get into Bobcat athletics, we're going to take our first break from our sponsor, Vapor Essentials.
Can't drop the smoking habit or tired of inferior vaping products? At Vapor Essentials, we understand these issues. Let us show you the world of vaping at our new San Marcos location at 1515 Ocarina Springs Drive. We offer quality e-cig hardware by Halo and Totally Wicked, plus Texas Select Vapor. Our delicious top 12 flavor line will knock your socks off with nicotine ranges from 0 to 24. At Vapor Essentials, we are consumers for consumers. We are your e-cigarette store. Come by or call us today at 512-878-8869. That's 512-878-8869. 18 and older, we ID.
And we're back here to talk about Sun Belt Conference Championship Tournament. The volleyball team is in there. They're the number 3 seed. They're going to play Louisiana Lafayette, a team that they have beaten in straight sets in the 2 regular season matchups. So that should be a distinct advantage for the Bobcats. The tournament's held in Troy, Alabama. And, I just think it's going to be something to look out for. I think it's going to be something that's going to be fun for the women. Kind of get a load off a little bit, kind of get a break, and then head into tournament play.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a sneaky game because, Lafayette's played the top 2 seeds, I think beat them both times. So, you just got to watch out for this team, even though they've beat them twice in straight sets. It's just kind of still need to be on your game and definitely look out for kind of a sneaky Lafayette team.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in once the regular season's over, all bets are off. This is a conference tournament. Anything is possible. So I definitely agree with Kirk that this game could sneak up on the Bobcats for sure.
Yeah, Lafayette being the only team to beat top-seeded Western Kentucky this year. The bracket reads like this. It's going to be number 2, Little Rock versus Arkansas State, kind of a state rivalry there, so that should be something interesting to look forward to. Again, Texas State being the number 3 seed, they'll play Lafayette, the number 6 seed. UT Arlington will play South Alabama, and then Western Kentucky will take on 8th seed Troy. So, something to look forward to is that if Texas wins, they're either going to play Arkansas, Little Rock, or Arkansas State, both teams that teams they've lost to this year. And I think, that's a good matchup for them. I think they'll be able to respond well against Lafayette, especially losing to Arkansas State, knowing that you controlled your own destiny, getting the number 2 seed. So I think the Bobcats are going to come out ready to play.
Yeah, definitely. And after getting the announcements of all the first team, Sun Belt and all that, I think that'll really get those players pumped up and ready to play against a team that they know well and have handled very well in the past.
Yeah, I do think those 2 previous wins against Lafayette will have a huge advantage going into this tournament. So I would like to see them get past this game. You know, they're definitely capable of it. They finished their season off strong, and, you know, hopefully they come out ready to play in this tournament.
Kirk mentioned, you know, the teams came out Wednesday night, the all Sun Belt teams. Emory Deerdorf earned her 4th consecutive all-conference team, dating back even to the WAC and the Sun Belt. She was a first-team selection. Ashley Hillbun made second team. Kaylin Mahoney was named to the commissioner's list for her academic performance. So did Hillbun and Aarons. They made the Sun Belt academic honor roll. So, you know, they got some awards, they got some accolades, they got some things that'll get the juices flowing a little bit for them. And I do think that in this tournament, we don't know what can happen. Like I said, 6 seed Lafayette beat Western Kentucky, and they beat Little Rock this year. So anything's possible, anything's plausible. But I do think that Coach Chisholm is ready. She'll have her squad come out and play. She reached 20 wins for the 21st time since she's been here in her 33 years coaching. So, you know, that's another accomplishment that she has gotten. And I believe she was named to All Southland coach of the All Southland team, I believe, or something a little funky like that. So, you know, they're coming in this week with accolades, with the hoorah, the hoopla. Yeah. So hopefully they'll be able to show out in this tournament.
Yeah, I definitely think so. You know, they're riding, like you said earlier, Otis, they came off of a really great win against Little Rock, and now they're kind of lost one to Arkansas State. But now with all this momentum going from all the accolades and all the high of being on the first-team Sun Belt for Emory Deerdorf, I think that's going to really play a part in their confidence going into the game on Thursday.
Yeah, I'd like to see them take those awards and show why they earned them. You know, like those are the players on this team that if the Bobcats are going to have a chance in this tournament, it's up to them to make that statement as they head into it.
Yeah, and I think Texas State, they probably fall short a little bit in this tournament. They are coming in with some momentum. They've won 4 out of the last 5. They've won 3 out of the last 4 road games. So that means they're mentally tough. They're mentally prepared. They're mentally, it shouldn't be a problem. But I do think matchup-wise, they're going to face the Sun Belt Player of the Year in Bejic. Yeah. I can't believe Melanovic didn't get it with that great name. It's going to be interesting, but I do think Texas State falls short a little bit. I think they do get past Lafayette. Lafayette just does not match up well against them. I think they played Little Rock in the second round. I think Little Rock probably gets to them, and it'll be Western Kentucky and Little Rock in the finals.
See, I think they'll make it to the finals. I think they will see Western Kentucky in the finals, but they will fall short. You know, Western Kentucky, they're a great team. You know, they're all around. I think they deserve the number 1 seed. But I do think that Texas State they've proven they can handle Lafayette, and they've proven they can hang with Little Rock. So I think with that saying, I think they make it to the finals and will lose in 5 sets in the finals.
Yeah, I think I'm more on the same boat as you. I think they do get past Lafayette. They've proven to get past them twice this year. I think 3rd time's the charm. But I think no matter who they face in that second round, they did win against Little Rock just less than a couple weeks ago. But I do think that I just don't see them making it past the second round if they make it that far.
Yeah, and definitely in this tournament, we've talked about it in the previous episodes, seniors need to step up. Deerdorf, Hillbun, and Aarons. Those are the 3 that step up big in the tournament, So it's going to be interesting to see how they do and see if they're able to bounce back from the loss against Arkansas State. Speaking of bouncing back, the women's basketball team lost to TCU earlier in the week, or last week, 63-50. They're looking to bounce back against Hampton at home, and it's going to be interesting to see. And men's basketball, starting the season 0-4, they're going to be looking to bounce back a lot this year, it seems like. So, but before we get into that great basketball talk, we're going to take another quick break from our sponsor, Vapor Essentials.
Can't drop the smoking habit or tired of inferior vaping products? At Vapor Essentials, we understand these issues. Let us show you the world of vaping at our new San Marcos location at 1515 Ocarina Springs Drive. We offer quality e-cig hardware by Halo and Totally Wicked, plus Texas Select Vapor. Our delicious top 12 flavor line will knock your socks off with nicotine ranges from 0 to 24. At Vapor Essentials, we are consumers for consumers. We are your e-cigarette store. Come by or call us today at 512-878-8869. That's 512-878-8869. 18 and older, we ID.
And we're back here with Kirk Jones and Cameron Cutshaw. I'm Odus Evbagharu, and we're going to talk a little bit about women's basketball now. I kind of dive into it a little bit. The ladies, they fell short to TCU by 13 63-50. They beat them last year, actually, and scored 90 points on them. So, women's basketball is regressing a little bit. They're going to take on Hampton. Hampton last year actually allowed the fewest points per game in Division I last year and limited their opposition to 32% shooting. So this is going to be another defensive struggle. The Bobcats this year, they're shooting 29.3% on 191 shots. That's ninth lowest in field goal percentage in the Sun Belt. Coach Antoine is saying that teams are doing a better job adjusting to their system. Hampton was an NCAA tournament team last year. They posted a record of 28-6 in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, but then they got bounced out by number 2 seed, the Duke Blue Devils. So it's never fun when you have to play Duke in the first round of a tournament. But I feel like the women now they kind of have to ride the ship here and come out strong against Hampton at home.
Yeah, for sure. And Hampton this year's already played Southern Miss and LSU too. I mean, I know that LSU. They're some SEC teams, so they're obviously going to be pretty good. And they lost 54-73, but this team is solid. They have a good defense and like always. And Texas State, they're going to have to come out hot. I think you can't be patient. You just come out and try to shoot the ball well and score as quick as possible.
Yeah, I think they right the ship Saturday against Hampton. I think the Texas and TCU games, they're both Big 12 teams. I think they'll get past, just the season struggling. They're the early season struggles, so I think those are normal for any team. So this weekend against Hampton, they'll I think find their groove and get into the momentum that we expect them to be in.
Yeah, they have played Texas and played TCU. My concern, though, is that the shooting is just not there. This is a team that was, I believe, 39th in the nation, 38th in the nation in scoring last year. They're scoring 16 points less this year than they did last year. And yeah, you're playing teams like Texas and TCU, but the efficiency and the execution of what's going on, apparently it's not happening right now for Coach Z's squad. So I think they're going to look at Hampton. They're going to try to bounce back, get back to their fundamentals. A good thing for them is that Ashley Eze finally saw the floor. She was picked Sun Belt Conference preseason second team. And she played 9 minutes in the TCU loss. She had 2 points. She's trying to slowly get back into shape. And hopefully with the presence of Eze and the senior leadership, of Kaylin Martin, hopefully they can start to ride the ship a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like they're just kind of trying to ease Ashley Eze into the position. 9 minutes, that's obviously you're going to want to see her more in there later down the season. But I definitely think that they're just kind of trying to get her acclimated to just being on the court in game time scenarios. And Kaylin Martin, obviously the senior leader, is going to have to pick it up during that time period. So and I think Diamond 4, I mean, those 16 points less, that's probably a presence of losing her. So, maybe they got to step it up coming up without Ashley Eze for this period of time.
Yeah, I agree. I do, like I said earlier, that I think this will be the game where we see that team that we're talking about, the team that we're wanting, that they kind of break out of that shell. I think, Ashley Eze coming in and the senior leadership again by Kaylin Martin, all these elements that we are talking about I think they will show themselves this Saturday.
Yeah, and the Pirates, Hampton Pirates, they're returning 7 players from last year's team. Senior forward Alyssa Bennett and senior forward Nicole Hamilton are the two that lead the team. Hamilton led the team in steals and blocks last year, while Bennett won the Eastern Atlantic Defensive Player of the Year. Hampton is projected to win the conference according to the coach's preseason poll. Hampton, not Hamilton, Hampton, the school. They're projected to win the conference again and make another NCAA tournament appearance. So, the women's basketball, they're playing a tough schedule, and they're definitely, challenging themselves. Another team that's challenging themselves is the men's basketball program. They lost to SMU Larry Brown squad, Hall of Famer Larry Brown squad in SMU. They lost 70-49 at SMU. They fall to 0-4. And Coach Casper, I saw his face Wednesday night while they were playing, and he just had his hand on his head, and he just looked like he had the biggest headache in the world. It's going to be tough. At one point, they were shooting 22% from the field. They were just turning the ball over everywhere. It's going to be a struggle for the men's basketball team this year. Yeah,
in the first half, they shot 25% against SMU. So, it's just the shooting woes are continuing, and Coach Casper's probably thinking, this is going to be a long season already. So, hopefully Coach Casper's a great coach, and I think he'll turn them around, but it's not a very great start to the season.
Yeah, it's 4 games in, and it already feels like it's been a really long season, so I can't imagine what he's feeling. Unlike the women's basketball team, where I think we have a good feel of who they are and what they can do, I'm not so sure with this men's basketball team of who they are. They haven't seemed to find their chemistry yet. They haven't seemed to, play consistently for an entire basketball game. So I don't know what to think about them, quite fortunate. So I don't know.
Man, one word that describes this team is inconsistent. Dear Lord. Joel Wright, 7 of 12, 4 for 6 from the three-point line. I don't like that too much. I think he's more of a mid-range to post player. 3 for 6 from the free throw line. He had 2 steals, 3 rebounds, but he had 6 turnovers. And, he's got to start making better decisions, especially the senior leader coming back. Reed Cannon went 1 for 4. Imani Gant went 1 for 3. Wes Davis went 1 for 6. Phil Hawkins, 2 for 9. He only had 1 assist. They shot 32% for the game, 33.3% from three-point land, 60% from the charity stripe. They don't call it the charity stripe for no reason. There's a reason why you go there. No one's blocking you. No one's doing anything. It's just you in the basket. 60% is just not going to cut it. They had 18 turnovers as a team. Coach Casper, I have news for you. This is not a style of basketball that's conducive to winning.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think this is his worst start as a coach since the first season SFA or something like that. So
you probably have to go back to the days that he was coaching Incarnate Word in the NAIA, and that was light years from now.
He's probably a student coach then. So I don't know. Coach Casper just probably it's just not. It's not a great team right now, and he's gonna have to. It's gonna take time. We always talk about it's gonna take some time to get used to his style play coming from previous systems. So I think he's just gotta be patient, and the team's just gonna have to buy into his system before anything starts happening major, like winning.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. His style of play, I think, is so different from what men's basketball has seen. It's just not even it's beyond night and day, if that's even a thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't even describe it.
It's like Mars and the Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough. SMU, they shot 50%. I believe on average, Texas State men's basketball team was allowing opponents to shoot 52%. They give up another 50% here to SMU, 44% three-point. SMU, they shot 70%, 12 of 17. They did turn over the ball 16 times during the game, but it doesn't help when you're turning over the ball just as much or even more. So Texas State is going to be struggling. It's something that's new to them. It's a culture shock, and I think Casper's going to do a great job. I don't mean to be critical of him, but he's a proven winner. He won at SFA, he won at Incarnate Word. I'm surprised we were even able to get him.
Yeah.
You would think he'd be going on to bigger, better things, but he came to Texas State, the aspirations to win, and I think eventually once he gets his talent there, once he starts to get his recruits there, and once the players start buying into the fact that they're winners, I think we'll see something special in the next couple of years.
For sure, and it's always going to, it's not going to happen just like that. You have to kind of be patient when you're doing making those kind of changes to the system. So I definitely think Coach Casper will turn the ship around and point them in the right direction of actually a winning atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe. I thought this the other day when they played SFA. It's like even though they lost, and I think that was their 0-2 start. I can't remember. 0-2 start.
Yeah,
I even thought, like, even for a winless basketball team, I'm still a believer in this coach. I still have high hopes and high expectations. The expectations he raised, and I still totally think all of those things, that he can bring that style of play to Texas State. It'll just take a little bit of time.
Yeah, Casper has definitely brought high expectations. He's raised them definitely here, and he's a winner. And, with those raised expectations, a lot comes from it. But, hey, you want to talk about expectations? We have Western Kentucky coming into San Marcos this weekend for senior night. That is definitely going to be a battle. They're fighting to get into a bowl. But before we get into that, I want to take one final break from our sponsor, Vapor Essentials.
Can't drop the smoking habit or tired of inferior vaping products? At Vapor Essentials, we understand these issues. Let us show you the world of vaping at our new San Marcos location at 1515 Ocarina Springs Drive. We offer quality e-cig hardware by Halo and Totally Wicked, plus Texas Select Vapor. Our delicious top 12 flavor line will knock your socks off with nicotine ranges from 0 to 24. At Vapor Essentials, we are consumers for consumers. We are your e-cigarette store. Come by or call us today at 512-878-8869. That's 512-878-8869. 18 and older, we ID.
Coach, when you're playing a Western Kentucky team and they're fighting for bowl position as well, what do you expect from a team coming into San Marcos?
These guys are going to play good. They're going to play hard. We're all kind of chasing the same dreams right now, and both of us are fighting for a lot on this game, and you got to expect you're going to get their best shot.
Coach, you're 4-1 for the season, but can you place an emphasis on how important it is for the fans to show up this Saturday, especially playing a team like Western Kentucky?
Well, there's several reasons. It's our last home game. It's our seniors' last home game, and this has been a really special senior bunch to sacrifice and commit to take us through this process of moving from FCS to FBS. And so I would hope our fans would come out and let our seniors know how much they appreciate them. And then, of course, postseason sometimes hinges a little bit on the kind of support you have, and we hope that we can put a good foot forward as we try to get ourselves appropriately dressed up to have an opportunity to go to the postseason.
Coach, after allowing 300-plus yards on the ground against a team like Arkansas State, how do you instill confidence back in your defense, especially going up against a back like Antonio Andrews?
Well, this is a good back. He's going to get his yards because he's going to get touches. But, the thing you tell our guys is you show them what they didn't do well and make sure they understand they played pretty well this year. I mean, we're still pretty good in rushing defense. We didn't have a very good night the other night. So we can do it, and it's not belief without evidence because we have.
As a coach, with these last two games, do you ever tell your team, hey, these are statement wins, or these are statement games, or these are must wins? What do you tell your team entering these last two games hoping to finish the season 8-4?
I don't ever talk about must. I have told our football team that they'll be a little defined by November. So far we're 1-1 in November, so it's still in front of us, and everything really is still in front of us. We lost a little control of our destiny with Arkansas State, but still I think the ultimate things that could happen are positive if we can continue to play well.
And we're back here to talk about Bobcat football a little bit. I know you guys saw the interview there with Coach Fran that I did at his Tuesday luncheon. He had a lot of things to say. He doesn't ever tell his teams that there's statement wins coming up. He looks forward to a big crowd, especially for senior night, and thinks it's very important. He had a lot of things to say, but, they're going to play a tough Western Kentucky team. It's a Western Kentucky team that's 6-4. They're bowl eligible. Hey, they're fighting for their lives, too, to make a bowl, just like Texas State is. And it's going to be a essential that Texas State does not come out flat. The Western Kentucky is bringing into town a very talented back, senior running back, Antonio Andrews. He is third in the country in rushing with 1,407 rushing yards. To add with that, he has 12 rushing touchdowns as well, has over 2,000 yards all-purpose. This is a versatile guy, and Texas State, they gave up 300-plus rushing yards to Arkansas State, and you bring in a top 3 rusher in the country. Texas State better have been working on some tackling drills.
Yeah, I mean, coming off your worst game as a rush defense and going against a guy that's third in the nation in rushing is a scary thing. So, I definitely you need to keep an eye on this guy. He does more than just rush. He gets punt returns. He's a great catches the ball well out of the backfield. So, this guy, I think they need to really study up on the film. I know Ben I just said that they're going to try kind of check out his tendencies and see what they like to do whenever they get him the ball in what situation. So I definitely think they'll be prepared. They just gotta realize that this guy is very talented.
Yeah, what a horrible time for Texas State to have a game like they did against Arkansas State.
Yeah, bad timing.
Yeah, you just feel like, oh no, what is happening? What's going to happen? But this is truly a even match. It could go either way. And where do we go from here?
Yeah, and Coach Fran talked about how this is a team that's top 35 in the nation in both offense and defense. Their defense gets overlooked. You have Bobby Petrino there at Western Kentucky, known for that offensive mind, but his defense has played solid as well. And they're going to be looking to stop Robert Lowe and Chris Nuttall. Terrence Franks is starting to sneak his way in there a little bit. Tyler Jones running, finding the balance on offense. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how Western Kentucky responds. The city of San Marcos has declared Saturday as a packed Bobcat Stadium Day. Hey, at this point, use any gimmick you can to get those fans out there. Hopefully we get a good crowd. I'm just looking for at least 25,000. I was on Twitter and I tweeted something out a little bit. I said, this game, on average attendance for the 5 home games that we've had so far is 18,264. Wow. Now, this for a stadium that sits 30,000.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
And the Bobcats have got to realize attendance matters. These bowl committees and getting invited to a bowl is predicated on these bowls selling tickets, and they use average attendance as a measurement to see, hey, will this team sell out? Will they be able to give us the money that we need so that way we don't look dumb in front of the NCAA? So this game is huge. It's really big, and I just don't think you can get invited to a bowl losing your last home game of the season.
Yeah, and they're gonna. If you're not gonna have fans come to your home games, why would they come to a bowl? I know it's a bowl game, but I mean they're thinking the right way, and I think this is a must-win. This is Western Kentucky's a good team. It would be a statement win if they won this game. They're really good. They have great players. I just think that this game needs to be won. It's at home. I feel like if you don't win this game, it's not going to look good going forward.
It's not going to look good, especially if we can fill that stadium up to 30,000. Then you don't want to do it in front of a packed house, because then you're just going to show those 30,000 people who are like, "What are we packing this stadium for?"
That's a good point. Point.
Why should we be excited about this bowl eligible team? So you got to show them who we're gonna see who the real Texas State team is Saturday.
Yeah, and I think it's important for Tyler Jones. Coach Fran has talked about how November defines them. They're doing a so-so job, 1-1 in the month of November. They got to finish November 3-1. They got to finish the season 5-1 at home. Right now, they're riding a 3-game winning streak at home, so that's good. They and the only loss at home was against Monroe. You throw those 2 pick sixes. I know a lot of those players have got to be feeling, man, if we would have won that game, we're sitting pretty right now. And these last 2 games aren't as vital as as much emphasis as we're putting on. But, you got to beat Western Kentucky, because you cannot enter that game against Troy thinking, I have to win, because they have to win both games regardless. Yeah, but you got to win your last home game. And Cameron, you make an excellent point. You cannot have a city-proclaimed packed Bobcat Stadium Day, have 25,000 to 30,000 fans in the stadium, and then you lay a stinker. Oh, no. I don't think that. I think that definitely kicks you out of the bowl game discussion.
For sure, and I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's just like if you build all this hype up and you don't deliver, then it's just people are going to wonder why they even support. I mean, come out and support their team. They just think it's the old Texas State from 10 years ago. I just think that they need to come out and they need to get back to how they were playing at the beginning of the year. Give Robert Lowe the ball. The last game they had like
14 rushes, 4 catches. It wasn't
good. They kind of went away from Robert Lowe's carries, and I firmly believe that Robert Lowe needs 25 carries a game. I think you have to get him 25 carries. If you don't do that, you're kind of deviating away from the plan. So 25 carries and get Tyler Jones on what he's been doing, about 200 yards. I think that's about what he needs to be around for this game.
Yeah, I agree. You got to get back to that. Who you truly are. You're a running team, and that's fine. If we're gonna win, that's how it's a win is a win is a win. So
that's true.
Another point that I wanted to bring on attendance that I thought of was that let's flip it to the bright. Let's flip the coin. Let's say we do pack the house, 30,000 people, and we go and show them. Does this change the football program? I don't want to say for history, but does this really, will we start filling that stadium every Saturday now? Will people be like, oh, this is something I'm interested in now. I will go wherever the bowl is, or will I start attending all the games next season? Does this game have an impact in that aspect for the future?
Yeah, I definitely do think that the game does have some implications on the future and on recruiting. It's games like this where you place an emphasis on it. A lot of eyes are watching. A lot of eyes will be watching. So, I do think it does play a factor into what happens next year. Showing up to the games, showing up. Seeing that you can support the Bobcat football team. I do think that's very important. This game, it's all Longhorn Network. You're asking the fans to come out. It's time. It's time to show up. It's time for the defense. You got to hit somebody. Last week you couldn't tackle a soul. Literally, you could not tackle a soul. They got to show up. So, Western Kentucky, Texas State, Saturday, November 23rd. Bobcat Stadium. Who do you guys got?
I'm going to go with the Bobcats. I think they'll win. It's going to be tough though. I just think it'll be a low-scoring game. They're both defenses are really great. I think the Bobcats come back off of a down week in rush defense, and I think they contain him, Antonio Andrews. But I still think he'll have a good game because he averaged like 150 yards a game. So, but I think they'll go. I think the score will be 20-17 Texas State.
I'm going with the Bobcats as well. I think part of me wants to say this will be the first overtime football game that we've seen in the Coach Fran era. I don't know if that's correct, but I don't remember. One can't come to the top of my head. So I think this game truly could go into overtime. They're two even teams. They're gonna battle it out. So I got it. He took my score, honestly. So
it's the same one. Maybe there's some lucky thing that goes with that.
Yeah, 2017 was what I was going to say, honestly.
Yeah. All right, I got 2 shout-outs. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Our copy chief here, Leslie Warren, had told me that every time she's been to a Texas State football game, the Bobcats have won.
Uh-oh.
So, true. Leslie, if you listen to this, you better show up to the game. That's one. 2, I'm gonna flip my decision. I told my roommates. That's my other shout out. My roommates. Yeah. They're gonna love that. I told them that I think Western Kentucky beats us on Saturday.
You think
so?
But
you 2 changed my mind. I'm gonna flip it around. I think Texas State wins this 24-17. I think it's gonna be close. Tyler Jones is definitely gonna need to find balance. He's got to be able to show that he can be mature and step up when the bright lights is on. And you made a very good point. Robert Lowe has got to touch the ball 25 times. If he touches the ball 25 times, I guarantee the Bobcats win the football game.
I agree. I
guarantee the Bobcats win the football game.
I like that, and I think that's really true. And I don't know what happened last week and why maybe Robert Lowe's the second leading rusher behind Antonio Andrews. So I don't know. I think that's a good point you made.
Yeah. So with all that said, I always get your final thoughts. What are you guys thinking before we get out?
It's a good weekend. I'm excited for the volleyball team on tomorrow or Thursday to come out and pull off the win, and I hope they can make it to the championship. I think they will, so I'm really excited about that.
My final thought is on football. I know the defense had a bad game last week, But what I'm really nervous about is this. I don't want the defense to worry so much about the Western Kentucky. His name slipped in my mind.
Oh, Antonio Andrews. Yeah.
I don't want them to worry so much about him that they kind of don't worry about anyone else. I know they don't have a name that sticks off the paper, but you don't want that name to stick off the paper against us. So I think I really want the defense to play Texas State defense, be the doom squad that you claim yourself to be. I think if they do that, Robert Lowe touches the ball 25 times, I think we're going to get a win on Saturday.
Good luck, volleyball. You're going to be playing in the tournament. Good luck, women's basketball. You're going to be playing Hampton at home on Saturday. But guess what? Saturday night, 6 o'clock p.m., Western Kentucky, Texas State. The city has proclaimed packed Bobcat Stadium Day. Bobcats win 24-17. With that said, for Kirk Jones, Cameron Cutshaw, I'm your host and sports editor here at the University Star, Odus Evbagharu. And like always, we'll see you next time. Bye.